Okay, this is the summary. We're talking about the necessity to fire up, literally, that aspect in the godly soul so that it counters and overwhelms the fiery side of the animalistic, impulsive, I see it, I want it. And this is to counter the idea that when a person is saying the Shema and he becomes extraordinarily impassioned, and then when he finishes, it feels like he's going almost in a way of prikasol, of completely discarding godliness relative to the passion that he experiences when he has this great enthusiasm and excitement. So the goal is that we should be able to import all of this passion into the physical mitzvahs, and this helps us understand the idea that Hashem revealed his great hand even in Mitzrayim. Asher asa Hashem bim Mitzrayim, this Yad HaGadolah, like the same idea that the infinity of Hashem is manifest in the ordinariness and the restraint of Mitzrayim. We want to sort of emulate that the passion that we feel for godliness during the Shema should stay with us in our daily activities and in our business and our work and so on, that a person shouldn't see his rest of his day as some sort of violation or departure from his spiritual experience. And he should be able to sustain that intensity that he feels during the Shema for the rest of the day. And this helps us understand the statement of the Gemara that says, La'olam, meaning always and also within the world, there should be the passion of the Yetzer Tov to shout down the Yetzer Hara. And the Maimer goes on to describe that we know that we are a composite of good and evil, and we need to shout down that evil. We need to fire up the godliness so that, again, we will not have this bifurcation where we put away our davening and then we become consumed with the pursuit of the material. We also reference the pasuk that describes the tzira, this wasp-like creature that entered into Eretz Yisrael, and it helped to defeat the inhabitants, and it defeated them in two ways. It blinded them and it neutered them. And we explain, what does this mean? It blinded them from seeing the material and becoming impassioned about the material, and it neutered them from as in preventing them from becoming to multiplying in their pursuit of the material. And now we understand why the Meraglim were so hesitant to enter into the land of Canaan, because they didn't want to drag down this infinity of godliness into the routine of mitzvahs, into the seven nations, which represent the seven midos that would be containers for, and they felt almost impossible to be able to drag it down. And yet that is Hashem's ultimate objective. And now we can reflect back on the original question, what is the analogy that the Gemara intends when it says that if a person puts on tefillin, but does not, if a person recites the Shema, but is not wearing tefillin, it's as if he's bringing a korban and he does not have the nesachim, the libations. So we explain, it's like having the passion without having the physical manifestation in the mitzvah activities. Then we started a new mimer on Daf Mem Aleph Amud Gimel about the nesachim, that it talks about consuming, and that the Mizbeach consumes. And we ask the interesting question. We understand the idea of karbonis is to elevate. We take the physical animal and we elevate it. And yet the nesachim, which is the wine libations, went into channels that the wine went away down into the depths. So we have apparently two different characteristics. One is a taking up and the other is a dragging down. So we went on to explain that just like within a fruit, you have the more spiritual side, which is the taste of the fruit, and you have the more physical side, which is the very structure of the fruit. And we explained that this is that idea within each person. You have two characteristics. You have the physical and you have the spiritual. And our objective is to elevate the spiritual and to push down on the physical. And this is why wine, which is contained within the grapes and then it's revealed, is revealing of the spiritual within the person. It brings simcha, which is the revelation of that which is hidden from within the person. And a person is also, he's got his chitzonius, the way he impacts others. He has his panemius, the way he is himself. And then he has the atzmus that brings the two together. And the Maimer made an analogy to Avram, who is chesed, who has the impact on others, Yitzchak, who is gevura, who elevates himself, and Yaakov, who connects all of them, as Yaakov is described as that rod that ran through the beams of the Mishkan to hold them all together. And this is why when a person drinks wine, their face becomes red, because it brings out the blood, which is the life force. But if they drink too much wine, it's too much or for the keli, and the person will fall asleep.